So hi, welcome to my channel. So first time using OBS for my live stream. So I feel good. So what do you guys really think about Southampton versus West Ham? What do you think it feels like? Like I really think Southampton will win because last time they beat them 0-3 and Southampton have been playing well recently. Not that well, but like to the highest expectation. So like I have 28 subscribers. Can you guys let me reach to like 100 in this live stream? Thank you.
Out to the left-hand side for West Ham. Cresswell is moving forward with it, gets it back in field, and Rice will play it into Snodgrass. Cresswell again, toe pokes it into Snodgrass, now out to Felipe Anderson. The Brazilian tries to just nutmeg Valerie, gets away from him and then plays it back down the line to Cresswell. Cresswell holding off Lamina, who's very strong, but manages to do so, and Anderson will play it back to Obiang. Now through the middle to Diangana. This is much better from West Ham, moving it around now on this slick St Mary's surface. It goes out to the right-hand touchline, and a chance for West Ham to get the cross in through Antonio. Antonio is held up there by Targett, then tries to get to the byline. Sliding tackle comes in, and it will be a throw-in for West Ham, right down near the corner flag.
Lovely bit of play just in front of us, Andy. 2 or 3 West Ham players involved. There's a nice zip on the surface. It's really skidding around, and Diangana and Targett looking like they're going to have a good battle already over on the far side.
So 6 minutes on the clock, and West Ham have won themselves a corner. It's Snodgrass who will go across to take it, the former Hull City winger, Scotland international, who's really in a rich vein of form this season, having come back from a loan spell at Aston Villa, thinking that his time at West Ham might have been up, but he had other ideas. And here comes his corner. It's played in, little flick off a Southampton player, comes to Felipe Anderson, edge of the penalty area. He cuts back in field, tries to get a shot away, right-footed, but it's blocked by Redmond, and he's hurt himself there. I think he's actually kicked the foot of Redmond, but he is back to his feet at least, Felipe Anderson. I was worried for a moment there, as now West Ham attack from the right-hand side. Clipped down the line by Snodgrass. Diangana off the outside of his boot, and it's another corner to West Ham.
Yeah, it was a shame, really. They didn't seem to be ready, the West Ham players that were in the middle, when Snodgrass received the ball back from Cresswell. The first one was obviously cleared. He played in Diangana. I think it's Romeo, who's over on the far side, blocks it to go for another corner.
Snodgrass will take it from the right-hand side. It'll be another left-footed in-swinging delivery. Here it comes, and it's over the head of Ogbonna and easily headed away by the Southampton defender. Cresswell has tried to drill one back out to the corner taker Snodgrass. He's got that completely wrong, and that's flown way out, and for a goal kick to Southampton.
Half a chance for West Ham. The Anderson one, probably from the initial corner kick, took it down beautifully. Just lovely composure to try and get the space for the strike, but just crowded out in the end. But he is really beginning to show his class as a West Ham player, that calmness on the ball. He hasn't got electric pace, but brilliant technician on the ball, and getting the goals as well to show for his good work.
Manuel Pellegrini has won 4 out of 6 visits to St Mary's, drawing one of the other 2, but his last visit actually was a defeat with Man City when they were beaten 4-2 here. So he will have that in the back of his mind, no doubt, as a memory from here at St Mary's. Ralph Hasenhüttl is out on the edge of his technical area, watching on closely to see his players follow his demands and his instructions, as West Ham have a free kick on the halfway line. They move it out to the right-hand touchline. Chance to come forward for the Hammers. It's given away, though, and intercepted by Vestergaard at the back for Southampton. He tries to flick it infield to Ings, but he doesn't quite receive the ball as he would have liked, and then tackle coming in from Targett. But West Ham have settled it down a bit, Sam, after a good start, bright start from Southampton.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got their foot on the ball, played some nice passes, and that early little spell from Southampton has fallen by the wayside now. West Ham in control of the ball.
Saints coming forward with Lamina, halfway line, sends it out to the right to Valerie. Valerie coming forward, Anderson trying to get back at him, but Valerie continues his run, gets it in towards Ings. Ings couldn't quite take that in his stride. It goes through the feet of the striker, and it's through to Fabianski in the West Ham goal.
Unusual running style, Valerie there. He's very much got his head down there, just bombing towards the byline. Little reverse pass in towards Ings, and he couldn't collect. But another young player who's, I think he played a couple of games under Mark Hughes, but really has stumped his authority on this Southampton side under the new manager.
Well, that's always the case, isn't it, that you a new manager comes in and suddenly someone who you never would have thought would have got the chance, they just like the look of them. And Southampton have proved this season that they've given young players a bit of a go, and we saw in their last match that their substitute Michael Obafemi came on and scored another Premier League goal. He's only had 1 Premier League start, but he looks like a big talent. As Southampton come out of defence with Yoshida, closed down by Antonio, but does get the ball out to the touchline, and it's worked back in field by Ings. But Southampton have to go all the way back to their goalkeeper under pressure from West Ham. as Lucas Perez closes down McCarthy. And now the ball is clipped out towards the right touchline to Valery. Cutting back infield, plays it square to the former Chelsea player Oriol Romeu. Now Redmond to Bednarek, and out from the back from Vestergaard. Down the touchline they will go, Southampton. Vestergaard receives it back with the flowing blonde hair, reaches the halfway line. Snodgrass just makes him think about a pass infield, so he goes out to the left to Target, who was on loan at Fulham last season in the second half of the campaign. As Antonio goes back towards his own goal, he's been robbed by Armstrong, and the Scotsman pulls it back. Chance here for Redmond perhaps, but a clearing kick comes in from Ogbonna, deflects off a Southampton player. Anderson then tries to keep it in. He's been fouled, says the referee and his assistant, by Valery, and it will be a free kick to West Ham, and they can just get away with it.
Yeah, it's been a difficult start to the game for Antonio on the far side. All Southampton's good work seems to be coming over on the left-hand side. It's Armstrong on that occasion. Brilliant little bit of play to evade the challenge of Antonio. It looks like his favourite all ends up, but he just dallies on the ball, sets it back for Redmond, and unfortunately for Southampton, it's Ogbonna who comes out to make the intervention, but looking dangerous, and just a little bit of a concern there that the right back, Antonio, hasn't started this game particularly well.
He's so powerful and quick, he can sometimes get away with it, but he does find himself sometimes a bit out of position, which you can sort of understand when it's really not his position at all.
Yeah, it's how quickly you can recover, isn't it? Because I think that just naturally, he's not thinking about where the player's moving. It's not natural to him playing in that role. I know there was a period last year, wasn't there, when he was playing back there. Obviously the Byram transfer's not really worked out from a West Ham perspective, and he's found himself playing as an unorthodox fullback at times.
Sam Parkin alongside me, Andy Rowley here at St Mary's, where it is currently Southampton 0, West Ham 0, 12 minutes gone. The scene will be starting very shortly on BBC Radio London on 94.9 FM. But here on digital, we will continue live commentary of this game. After this one, they'll have reached the halfway stage, Sam, and West Ham 24 points. Given they lost their first 4, it's a great return already, but to get to 27, if they get anywhere near that second half of the season, and they should be top 10 with that, shouldn't they? 54 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd be delighted. It's a much bigger tally than they had at this stage last season. Obviously, I don't think the position in the table probably tells the whole story. It's been, you know, much better from a West Ham perspective. There's a real, I think, identity that the supporters are seeing, certainly attacking wise, but defensively looking good as well.
Lovely touch from Armstrong, and then he's clattered by Antonio, and it'll be a throw in to Southampton left-hand side. 7 points better off coming into this game tonight, West Ham, than they were at this stage last season. Been really impressed with Armstrong this season, Sam, for Southampton. He looks a very good player.
Yeah, no, they love him with the international side up in Scotland. I think he was at Dundee United, but I was playing up there, and obviously got his move to Celtic and's done brilliantly. He's a major part of Alex McLeish's plans.
Here he is on the ball now, whips in a left-footed cross. Rice is there, good positioning from the young midfielder, and he clears it away for West Ham, and now they're going to try and hit Southampton on the break, and they've got numbers coming here, West Ham. Diangana has it on the right-hand side. Southampton getting plenty of players back, though, and Diangana will have to do well to get past 2 of them, and in the end, he flicks it down the line, but it just crosses the touchline, and it's out for a throw-in to Southampton.
Yeah, they're getting back into their shape well. Southampton almost doubling up on that young man. Just needed to come back towards his own goal and pop it off. I think in his enthusiasm, wanted to get one-on-one with Matt Target, but Bednarek coming out as well and making it difficult for him.
So it remains goalless here at St Mary's Stadium as we almost reach the quarter of an hour mark. Redmond flicks the ball up in the air, headed forward now by Declan Rice, and then cleared forward by Maya Yoshida. Underneath it is Redmond, tries to control it, and then intercepted by Obiang, who gets the ball back into his own half to Antonio. They'll move it across the back for West Ham as they realise they've got a bit of space to do so. And for once that press isn't working there from Southampton, and West Ham can come forward with the ball. It's Snodgrass who's tackled hard by Lamina. Just showed too much of the ball there, and Lamina was quick as a flash in there to get a foot in. But West Ham do get to the next ball first, and they've got it with Antonio on the right-hand side. He skips away from the first tackler, then shrugs off Romeu, then tried to get it down the line, but it just flicked off the back of the West Ham player in front of him, Lucas Perez, and now Southampton can start to come forward themselves. Felipe Anderson, brilliant work back to get in between Redmond and the ball. He wins it back, but then his pass out to the right to Diangana was the one bit that probably wasn't the best defensively. West Ham back in their own half now, defending deep as Antonio comes sliding in again, this time on target. That looked like a foul to me, but the ref is happy for play to continue. And in the end, it's run out for a goal kick by Grady Diangana, who just shielded the ball out under pressure from Armstrong. Did you think that was a fair challenge from Antonio? We're a long way away, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, but I did think it was into target, wasn't it? Diangana did brilliantly, and they actually chasing the ball that dribbled over the byline in the end and just shielded the ball away from Armstrong. Yeah, not too sure.
Sort of ends up catching him on the top of the boot, but studs were coming down, Antonio. Anyway, the home crowd weren't too happy with it. The scene just about to get underway on BBC Radio London on 94.9.
If you're enjoying this match, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to Abbey Live TV. I post Fortnite Royal live streams too, so keep on watching my videos.
A cross in, flicked away by the Southampton defender. Rice gets to the ball first ahead of Redmond, gets it to Cresswell. Now out to Anderson on the left-hand side. He's going to clip a cross in. Diangana heads it down. He didn't look that confident with that one. And it's a glancing header when he really needed to try and get something strong on that. And in the end, it goes all the way out to the other touchline for a West Ham throw-in.
Yeah, I think Aaron Cresswell, when the ball just bounced towards him, just thought about taking the strike on from the angle, pushed it to Felipe Anderson, and the ball was curving away from the young man Diangana as he was arriving. It would have taken something spectacular, just glanced off his head to safety. But I think an encouraging 17 minutes or so now for West Ham.
Here they come again with Cresswell down the left-hand side. It was a lovely back flick from Felipe Anderson, but back there is Valerie to win the ball back for the Saints. Now controlled on the thigh by Ogbonna. The Italian international moves it to Diop, and he will go all the way out to the right-hand side to Antonio, who in turn goes infield to Obiang. Obiang looking to go forward, but has to turn back because of the pressure from Armstrong. Then Rice pointing the direction of where he thinks the pass should go, and the ball is moved out to the left for West Ham United. Cresswell, the former Tranmere and Ipswich defender, gets the ball back in field to Obiang and then sent way forward towards Diangana, headed away at the back by Vestergaard, but not a great clearance from target. And West Ham are having a bit of joy here as they get the ball out on the right-hand side. It's going to be on the left foot of Snodgrass, whips in a shot, but it's too close to McCarthy. But they have tested him at least. 18 minutes gone. Southampton 0, West Ham 0.
Matt Targett's loose in possession, presents it straight to Snodgrass, and Lamina actually fell, and it meant that Snodgrass could just drive into the area where he was no longer, and just warming the palms of the keeper, really. But decent effort.
They've got work to do here tonight, West Ham, but they can take comfort from the fact they've only conceded 2 goals in their last 4 away games in the league, which is good by anyone's standards. Obiang moves the ball in field. Rice, brilliant feet again, under real pressure there, keeps the ball for West Ham and then works it out to the right-hand side, and it's Antonio now coming forward. Tries to get it down the line to Snodgrass. He tries a little deft back flick. Grady Diangana puts the pressure on Lamina, and Lamina does very well to win 2 tackles there to get the ball away for Southampton. Now Ings under a lot of pressure from West Ham. 3 players around him, but manages to get the ball out to the left of target. Now worked in field to Armstrong. Southampton moving the ball around nicely, and it's quite even, it has to be said, at the moment, Sam.
It is, yeah. They've given the ball away a couple of times trying to play out Southampton, not looking that comfortable. I wouldn't say they've got great footballers in that back 3. Yoshida tries to play, but the 2 either side of him don't look that comfortable. Maybe that's something that the manager is just playing with at the moment, trying to make him solid.
Chance for Saints to get an attack going here with Redmond. He's just outside the penalty area. It's good football. Gets it to Armstrong on the left. Armstrong's going to try and have a go here, but he didn't get enough curl on his shot. He raises the hand apologetically to his teammates, but I think well within his rights maybe to have a go there. But in the end, there were just too many West Ham bodies for him to try and curl that around. He would have had to put some serious whip on that one. Yeah,
and that's where it's difficult for West Ham, because Redmond and Armstrong got licence to go wherever they please, really. Redmond picks it up centrally, and Armstrong's way out on the left-hand side, and he's got brilliant technique. I think he got a fantastic goal at Fulham earlier in the season. He's got a brilliant strike in either foot, really, and just couldn't get any bend on that ball, and quite a few yards wide of the far post.
BBC Radio London Sport on Digital live here at Southampton, where it is Southampton 0, West Ham 0 in the Premier League. The scene is just beginning. The programme on BBC Radio London with Jess Izzat, which is live right now on 94.9 FM and online. So retune your radios if you wish to do so. But we will continue live here on digital with Southampton against West Ham, where West Ham are putting in a solid showing, given that they've made 5 changes to their team. Antonio looks a little bit out of position there, but he uses a bit of skill and trickery to get the ball away from target, and then tries to get it forward, and he does so to Lucas Perez, who lays it off to Snodgrass, who's playing in the hole at the moment for West Ham, just trying to support Lucas Perez up front. Now Felipe Anderson down the line for Cresswell, pulls it back. Oh, it must be for Lucas Perez. He somehow put that wide. I think he mishit his first effort left-footed, and it might have even come off his right as he tried to get it goalwards in the end. However, he got the contact on it. It wasn't what he wanted, and it's clipped wide of goal. And they worked Southampton open there, and he should have finished it.
Yeah, gilt-edged chance, and he's got to score there. It's made easier for him, the chance, really, because Yoshida tries to read the cutback, gets a deflection straight into his path from Cresswell, sees it all the way, and he just completely tops it, doesn't he, really, into the ground, and well wide of the far post, it must be said. It's on his stronger foot as well. No excuse, should have hit the target.
So if you're enjoying this match, make sure you share with your friends, like and subscribe. I know I'm repeating it one more time. Don't just forget to subscribe. I also post Fortnite videos tomorrow morning. I'm going to be live in Fortnite playing my friends, so don't miss it. Thank you.
All over the place on that right-hand side, Andy. Target's getting in at will.
Well, West Ham might say that they opened Southampton up at the other end as well, down there right-hand side of their defence, because that was a brilliant move and deserved better, really, Sam. Anderson and Cresswell doing really well. Antonio intercepts again. I don't know, I was going to say more through luck than judgment, but fair play to him, and now he's bounding forward into the areas of the pitch that he prefers to play in. Still going, they'll play on because that was a foul. Anderson will have a shot. He's dragged it wide under pressure from Danny Ings, who was trying to get back and help out, and it will be a goal kick to West Ham after that free kick that would have been given West Ham's way was deemed to be null and void due to the advantage play. 23 gone, Southampton 0, West Ham 0.
Yeah, well, that's brilliant from Antonio. He intercepts the pass, which is intended for Armstrong again, who's peeling off to the left-hand side, drives probably half the length of the pitch there. And Anderson, I think, the form that he's in, he'd be disappointed. Hits a daisy cutter and well wide of the near post. Probably should have worked McCarthy.
The voice of Sam Parkin. We're live here on BBC Radio London at Southampton 0, West Ham 0. 23 on the clock. Ball is with Declan Rice in the West Ham half. His ball to the touchline is mould, and Cresswell can't keep it in. It will be a throw into Southampton. They go back into their own half and now try and work it up the right-hand side. Valerie coming in field, looking for support, gets it to Lamina, and Lamina will play that obvious pass out to the left-hand side to Target. Target, who produced a brilliant cross in the Arsenal victory, gets the ball forward, but Ings hadn't made the run on that one, and now West Ham will be able to clear the ball away. Yoshida, the Japanese international, heads that ball down, and now Vestergaard can play it forward. Ings, good control, but just offside, says the referee's assistant on the near side, and it will be a free kick to West Ham, whose fans are comparing Southampton to a team just down the road, which I don't think the Saints fans would have enjoyed the comparison. Chance for Ings to try and break through the middle, but good defending in the end from Issa Diop. Gets a foot in, and West Ham will try and come forward down the right-hand side. Now Obiang through to Diangana. Obiang again on the halfway line, gets it square. Now moved out to the left-hand side to Felipe Anderson. Anderson moves it in field. Rice works it across the field to Diop. Now up the right to Antonio. West Ham who've carved Southampton open once, looking to try and do so again, but a good ball through the middle for Lamina to chase. He's trying to get round Declan Rice, who shows all his strength to hold him off there and then clear the ball away. Brilliant defending from the youngster.
Fantastic, Andy. He's not put a foot wrong since the first whistle. He's been exceptional at the start of this game. Brilliant strength and reading of the game as well there to just make sure he was back in a defensive position, robbing Lamina of the ball.
It looked like Lamina had got the run on him as well, but he just got his body between the Southampton midfielder, in the ball, and then Lamina just couldn't shift him.
They definitely started the game with just the one holding midfield player, but it looks like Obiang's almost alongside Declan Rice now, and I think you have to go that way when Southampton are set up the way they are. I think it's too risky to just play with the one holder, and the temptation for the fullbacks is to get sucked in and go and mark Redmond and Armstrong, which I think keeps on happening with Antonio. He just needs to hold his position at right back rather than getting drawn into picking up Armstrong and Redmond.
More football to come for you live on Saturday on BBC Radio London Sport. We have Fulham against Huddersfield and Tottenham against Wolves. Both games live from 3 o'clock in the Saturday Sports Show with Phil Parry. So do join us from 2 o'clock this Saturday afternoon. By the way, if you're confused with the dates, that will be the 29th, Saturday the 29th. So a couple of days' time, as Yoshida moves the ball out to Target on the left-hand side. He tries to work the ball down the touchline. Diop has got the pace to get there before Redmond, and goes back to Fabianski, who clears it upfield. Lamina has got plenty of space just to walk into and bring that ball under control. Now Romeu through the middle. It's a great pass to Ings. Good turn from him as well. Gets it to Redmond. Redmond tries to work it back through to Ings, and there's Ogbonna to just get a left foot in there before Ings can reach it. Away it goes towards Lucas Perez. He tries to poke it down the line for Diangana to chase, but Vestergaard does a bit what Declan Rice did at the other end of the field. Just shields that ball out, and it will be a Southampton throw-in on the left-hand side. Romeu to Armstrong. He's going to get the ball out to Valerie on the right-hand side. He's going to come forward infield of that right touchline. Then Armstrong takes over to get away from Anderson. He's looking for the cross, sends it into the back post. Great header away by Antonio. Brilliant leap under pressure at that back post from Target. Gets the ball away to Diangana. Now Rice. Back he goes to Antonio. And Antonio will work it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Fabianski, who didn't look like he wanted that one that much. Sends it high and hanging in the December night sky. And then Snodgrass, as he tries to win it back, looked like he fouled Lamina, but the referee says it was okay. Lucas Perez dinks it to Snodgrass. Diangana. Now West Ham are on the move, and they'll get it up the left-hand side to Felipe Anderson. There's always danger when he's on the ball. Anderson gets away from Armstrong, clips it into the penalty area, headed away by Target. Antonio is arriving though, and he's on the edge of the penalty area, looking for support. He's going to get a shot away, in fact, left-footed, deflects off Redmond, and Declan Rice will move it out to the left-hand side of Cresswell once again. Cresswell has the left-footed crossing option cut off by Valerie, who's out there on the right for Southampton, so he decides to go back in field. And now Felipe Anderson, West Ham record signing, swings the ball across to Cresswell, who chests the ball down and then plays it back down the line to Obiang. Obiang in field to Felipe Anderson. Now Rice, moving it across to the right-hand side to Antonio. Good possession this from West Ham, but can they hurt Southampton? Gets towards the edge of the penalty area. Brilliant bit of feet from Antonio, gets the cross in. Yoshida is there to clear the ball away. And he looks so much more comfortable when he gets in the box. He looks like, right, now I can come alive. Antonio, as Cresswell tries to get a cross in, takes a deflection, difficult one for Southampton to deal with, and Target has to put it behind for another corner to West Ham.
Yeah, brilliant play from the two fullbacks. You're right, Andy, when he picks the ball up 30, 40 yards from goal, there's no one better. He's so unique in what he does, Antonio. Makes it to the byline, but 9 Southampton players really camped in the 18-yard box, able to clear. Yoshida, I think it was, and that was a fantastic ball from Cresswell. It's the corridor of uncertainty. Unfortunately, no West Ham player had made his way into that corridor, and it came to nothing in the end. I think Target just cleared it on the far post.
Here comes the corner, though, from Snodgrass. It's swung in, headed up in the air by Southampton. They've got 3 big centre-halves. Rice tries to flick the ball to a West Ham teammate, but Ings gets to put in and clears it away. Diangana wrestling with Redmond, manages to half win that back. Then Rice, as soon as he gets possession, nice and simple, to a teammate. And West Ham can come forward down the left-hand side. It's Felipe Anderson moving in field. Gets it back to Obiang. His ball through the middle is cut out, and Southampton work the ball away from the edge of the penalty area. Lovely football from Lamina and Romeu and Armstrong. But then Ings slips as he was trying to receive the ball, and he couldn't control it. And West Ham have it back in their possession inside their own half. Half an hour gone here at St Mary's, where it is Southampton 0, West Ham 0. Lucas Perez trying to run in behind. Across comes the defender Bednarek, and he will put it out for a throw-in to West Ham on this left-hand side.
They've looked quite dangerous, Andy, when they've got the ball into Redmond and Armstrong, but on the ball they've been a little bit sloppy all over Southampton. The supporters not best pleased, kind of a few moans and groans, giving the ball away at will.
Cresswell working his way to the edge of the penalty area, pulls it back for Felipe Anderson. Felipe Anderson into Snodgrass, tries to control the edge of the area, but Lamina gets a foot in, and then Ogbonna at the back of Ings puts the ball out for a throw into Southampton. Danny Ings having a word with the referee to say, come on, that looked a bit like a foul from behind. Craig Pawson is saying, come on, it's all right, get on with it, you'll be okay. So Danny Ings makes his way forward to that central striking position, and it will be a throw into Bednarek for the Saints. Gets it to Armstrong and then closed down by Declan Rice, who I'm not sure he's asked to close down that far up, but he's forced another throw into Southampton. Either way, now gets a foot in and wins that ball back. He is quality. Gets the ball to Felipe Anderson, another good tackle from Bednarek this time, and Southampton are on the move with Armstrong. Flick forward by Lamina to Redmond. Redmond out to the left of target, who's going to play it through first time, looking for Lamina, who continued his run. Fabianski spotted that, and there was maybe just too much on it for the Saints midfielder to reach, as the ball is clipped forward by Danny Ings. Gets it to Armstrong. Ings looks like he's slightly hurt himself there as Redmond tries to come through the middle. He's just shouldered off the ball by Diop, and the ball is worked back to the West Ham goalkeeper Fabianski. The former Swansea goalie sends it forward, headed away by Vestergaard at the back, but Antonio is there to pick it up, and he always seems to have the pace to get away from a couple of Southampton players if he's allowed to run forward. Gets the ball back into the heart of midfield, and West Ham have pretty much matched Southampton, have had the best chance of the game. Would that be fair, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. It was a difficult start, first 5 minutes, getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. They probably have pinpointed Antonio and Diangana, really. He's going to have to show a little bit more support, I think, defensive nous to help Antonio out tonight. But after that first 5 minutes, West Ham have been excellent. Best chance of the game, and probably the best player on the pitch in Rice as well, Andy.
Yeah, another good tackle from him. Stops the run from Valerie down the right. I mean, they have got the option, Sam, of... I know Felipe Anderson is playing out on the left, but they could have played Masuaku in front of Cresswell and, you know, juggled it that way if they'd wanted to, and left Diangana out of the team if they'd, you know, wanted to keep that right-hand side a bit stronger, maybe had Snodgrass out there. But he has shown great faith in Diangana this season, Pellegrini.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed his performances so far this season, not just the little cameos he's had in the cup competitions. He was actually excellent up at Leicester, in quite a poor team performance, but in the first half in particular, looks like he's got good awareness, takes care of the ball.
Redmond out to the right, and Valerie miscontrols it, and Cresswell will allow that to roll over the goal line. Pushed well forward there, the right wing back, and controllers let him down. It's as if he lifted his head to maybe see if the defender was coming or where he was in relation to the goal, and his control let him down.
Yeah, he's not had a particularly good start to the game. Valerie, the right back, but the majority of it's come down the left-hand side, so they've had a lot more joy over there. He's just had a couple of little opportunities to stretch his legs, but the quality has not been on the end with his delivery.
The scene live now on 94.9 FM with Jess Izzat. It's going to be there in place for the next couple of hours, but here on BBC Radio London Sport on Digital, it is Southampton against West Ham. Still goalless, but it's intriguing to watch how these two teams are battling this out, because they're pretty equal, it has to be said, as Antonio gets the ball in, cleared away by Yoshida, one back by Obiang. And when I say they're equal, you've got to remember that West Ham are without almost double figures in terms of first team options. Rice gets the ball forward to Diangana, lays the ball off to the right hand side. Antonio up the line, and Diangana can maybe get a cross in here. This is an opportunity. Diangana works his way into the penalty area, and he should have realised he had 4 players in the West Ham shirt queuing up there to try and get on the end of any ball across. Snodgrass might go a little more direct. He's running through the middle. Cut out again by Vestergaard, who comes sliding in. Work forward to Diangana again. Little back heel for Antonio to run onto. Oh, great skill again from Antonio. Little trick, and then a sliding tackle from Lamina. That looked like a foul, and it's been given. Free kick to West Ham.
Well, they're having to work ever so hard to get into really fruitful positions on the byline in the Southampton 18-yard box. And just that final ball again from Diangana, I think, showing his inexperience, taking one too many touches. But the exchange that comes after between he and Antonio is brilliant. Lovely inventive football on the far side, and another free kick in a dangerous area.
West Ham are creating more opportunities, but yet to put one away. The best chance certainly falling to Lucas Perez from across from the left-hand side from Cresswell, but he couldn't get the connection on it that he wanted. Armstrong in a one-man wall. This is a free kick way out to the right-hand side. So this will be an opportunity to cross it in for Felipe Anderson. And they've got plenty of options in there. Rice, Ogbonna, Antonio, all in there. But it's clipped back to the edge of the box to Snodgrass, but it was never going to reach him because the fullback or wing-back, Valerie, was there to intercept it. He can't quite run it clear, though, because he had a slightly heavy touch. Cleared away again by Southampton as West Ham come forward with it. And now it's played out to Redmond on the left-hand side. Chance for Southampton to really break at West Ham. Diangana does well to pressurise him. Armstrong keeps it, though, for Southampton. Redmond up the touchline to Armstrong again. Redmond worked into the byline, pulls the ball back towards where Danny Ings was, but it doesn't quite reach him, and West Ham will try and come away with the ball. Antonio up the right to Anderson. It's a stretch game now.
Well, brilliant desire from the West Ham players to get back into defensive positions. Not really matched by Southampton. Redmond putting the ball in, no one in the box.
Play on, says the referee, after a foul by West Ham on Southampton. They'll move it out to the left-hand side to Target. Target looking to get a cross in from the left touchline, whips it in. Ogbonna has to dive to clear that right-footed. Oh, and an awful clearance from Diangana back into his own penalty area. Fortunately for him, it fell to a West Ham player, and they can come away with the ball. But I'm not sure that was in the copybook for how to defend in that position. Now coming forward is Anderson. Gets it towards Lucas Perez, but showed too much of the ball there to the Southampton defender Bednarek, did Anderson. But he gets it back as Bednarek slides to clear. He tried to chip it forward for Cresswell, who'd made a good run down the left, but it didn't reach him. And then Declan Rice just muscles Romeo off the ball with ease. He's putting on a masterclass as a teenager here, Declan Rice, as the ball is worked out to the left because Romeo and Lamina, they're no mugs. In it goes from Anderson. He's just overhit that beyond Lucas Perez, and it will go out for a goal kick to Southampton.
Sloppy in the end from Anderson on a couple of occasions, but you can sense it, Andy. The game is here for West Ham. They're a little bit quicker to the ball. There's a little bit more quality in their passing. Southampton not really been at the races as of yet. I think it's been a good away performance, and considering they've had the best chance, they're probably going to be disappointed if they go in at 0-0.
Yeah, but as you said at the start, Sam, a point isn't so bad maybe tonight, given all that they're having to deal with at the moment, West Ham.
No, but there's a confidence about the players. I think that's really evident. You know, if you turn the clock back to a year, yes, they were picking up some results under David Moyes, but I think collectively you can see even the players that have come in, whatever's going on at the training ground, they're feeling good about themselves, and they should be. You know, 4 wins on the spin, just that defeat against Watford, that's going to happen with the injuries and with the intensity of the Premier League, but this is a West Ham team that looks confident.
Down the right they will go. Redmond trying to get the ball in. It's going to be Antonio clearing it away, but it's out to the edge of the penalty area. On the turn there is Valerie, gets the ball back in field to Lamina. Lamina intercepted by Rice, and Rice will come away with the ball. Now Anderson working his way forward over the halfway line. Snodgrass making a good run beyond him. Anderson on the turn, gets it through to Diangana. He touched that away, but if he left it, Lucas Perez in, and Anderson knows what happened there. If it had worked it to Lucas Perez, he was in the clear and would have had an easy finish. But in the end, Grady Diangana running it on the diagonal, runs it out of play.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the pass from Anderson. It's a brilliant counter-attack. Snodgrass offering himself up on the left-hand side, but I think Anderson, the quality he's got, I think if he just punches that into Perez, who's pulled away onto the far post, he's in on goal. So it's difficult to... you can't really blame the young man, Diangana, trying to collect it on the run. His touch was a little bit heavy, but another chance on the counter-attack where West Ham probably haven't made the best of the position.
Well, it remains 0-0, but another opening there for West Ham, and Felipe Anderson just unable to find the pass that he wanted. Lucas Perez, short sleeves and no gloves. Same with Grady Diangana out there, but Anderson finding it maybe a little chillier. The Brazilian has got the gloves and the long sleeves on tonight. Southampton have a throw-in, 10 yards inside their own half, and it's taken short on the right-hand side. Every Thursday Premier League game since the start of 2016-17, 2 seasons ago, has been won by the home side. 8 of them so far. So West Ham trying to buck the trend tonight, and they have had the better opportunities. Here's Antonio on the ball inside his own half. Good work to get that ball into the path of Diangana, who's got a bit of a space to attack down the right-hand side. He's chased back by Romeu, so he'll come back infield to Obiang. Obiang moves it across the pitch to Ogbonna, and this is what they do when they find one avenue closing. They quickly move it to the other side of the pitch. Now it's Snodgrass going to get the ball back to Declan Rice, who will work it to Diop again. Up the right touchline they'll go to Antonio. Patient attack this from the Hammers. Moving it back infield now to Snodgrass. Back into his own half he will go to Diop. And Southampton, despite all that talk of the press, Sam, at the moment they're having to just follow the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it started fast, haven't they? But West Ham have moved it around, like you say, Andy, side to side, nice and quickly. And with the technically gifted players in Anderson and Snodgrass, to name just two, very calm in receiving the ball when the Southampton player's tight. So they've been made to work hard for it.
Ball is out on the right for a throw-in for West Ham. They get it back towards the halfway line, and it's played square across the back to Ogbonna. He'll move it out to the left to Cresswell. Cresswell coming forward, end of this first half, maybe a chance here. It's a dangerous delivery and cleared away well by Vestergaard. Snodgrass tries to get it back into the penalty area, but it will be cleared by Armstrong. And what a cross again from Cresswell.
Yeah, and I don't know why the centre-forward's not there. I mean, you're kind of crying out for Antonio to be in there, but considering where he's playing this evening, that's not realistic. But again, a fantastic delivery from Cresswell and no takers from a West Ham perspective.
I've always thought that he's a pretty good option, and Masuaku is obviously keeping him out of the team, but when you see that sort of delivery and the way he can hit set pieces, you think Cresswell's got a lot to offer. Ball is with him now. The Merseysider will get the ball forward to Anderson, who's going to try and cut back onto his right foot, plays it to Cresswell, who actually left it, and Anderson continued to pick it up again and then played it to Rice. Now Antonio's going to drill one, took a big deflection off the back of his teammate Diangana, and unfortunate there as it goes out for a goal kick to Southampton. We've got 2 minutes plus added time at the end of this first half. It's Southampton 0, West Ham 0.
Yeah, I think that just strikes Diangana, doesn't it? Antonio just taking the ball out of his feet and taking the strike on from the angle, but no, it's been a really good 10 minutes, I would say. It's been a brilliant spell for West Ham. Certainly someone sitting down there on the bench who would like to be attacking a few of these crosses, isn't there? And maybe that would be in the manager's mind. Certainly if it stays like this and they keep getting joy, especially down this left-hand side, I just think every time Anderson's chopped in and you've looked at the options in the 18-yard box, there's nobody really that you fancy aerially for West Ham who's on display. Maybe Perez on the deck, but I think as in terms of going to attack something, Antonio is probably your best bet, but obviously playing at fullback tonight.
I think that's a good shout that Andy Carroll would be ideal for some of these balls that have been put in by Cresswell.
Oh, he'd have scored one of them.
Yeah.
He'd have got his head on one of them. The quality on the two balls in from Cresswell, they've been the best two passes of the game.
Even that one that Perez didn't make the most of, Carroll on his left foot, you'd think he'd bury that as well. But he will no doubt be introduced in the second half as the ball comes back to the edge of the area to Lamina. Work through for Ings, he's onside, pulls the ball back, and Obiang does very well to get back there for West Ham, and then it's cleared away by Diop. Southampton thought they were in there as Redmond tries to find a teammate, but West Ham have won it back, and Obiang gets it forward towards Diangana. Sliding tackle on him, and then Anderson will play it up the right, and here goes Lucas Perez. Snodgrass well forward in support as well. Cutting back in field, he squares it to Anderson. Anderson takes a touch, it's just behind Snodgrass, left-footed, puts it just wide, and he had to almost wrap his left foot round that after almost facing backwards as he received the ball there. Snodgrass, he couldn't curl it in, and it will be a goal kick to Southampton, and it just didn't fall in the right way, and Anderson knew it, he just couldn't get the shot away.
Yeah, it's all a bit scrappy, but the pass from Anderson to release Perez is beautiful into the channel, and the build-up is fine into Snodgrass, and he's been waiting for that one opportunity all this half. You've seen him just prowling around the edge of the D. On this occasion, like you say, Andy, he's almost facing back towards his own goal. Would have been a spectacular finish to wrap his left foot around it, just a couple of yards wide.
No injury time required at the end of that first half, and West Ham, despite all their injuries that they're struggling with, have managed to see that half out, and not just see it out, ask some serious questions about the Southampton defence. Lucas Perez with an excellent chance midway through that first half, but he sliced his attempted effort left-footed, almost topped it, and out it went for a goal kick. Antonio has bounded forward and tried to get shots away, and Grady Diangana as well. Chance there at the end of the half as well from Snodgrass, which went wide, and Aaron Cresswell producing some very enticing crosses. Southampton have asked a couple of questions, but they haven't been nearly as good as they seemed against Arsenal or Huddersfield. Half-time here at St Mary's on BBC Radio London. It's Southampton 0, West Ham 0.
You're listening to BBC Radio London Sport on digital.
BBC Radio London.
First for London sport.
So, Sam Parkin, it's impressive work actually from West Ham. They've had more opportunities in that first half. They've almost quelled the efforts of Southampton in terms of what they want to do, press fast and have a really frantic approach to the game. West Ham have just calmed it down, and in the last 10 minutes of that half, they were the ones stroking it around and looking like the home team.
Yeah, I think they've been the better side, and the best chance of the game obviously falling to Perez. I think Southampton have looked a little bit heavy-legged, to be honest. I don't know if the intensity of the training over the last 2 or 3 weeks has maybe taken a toll, but a little bit heavy-legged in joining in with Danny Ings, but also their use of the ball has been a little bit sloppy. West Ham, on the other hand, loads of creativity, moved it well, and I think with the chances that they've had on the counter-attack, they'll be disappointed down there now that they're not at least a goal to the good. So far, really impressive away performance, and like I said, just a completely different feeling I get about watching West Ham this season than I did last. Loads of players playing with a freedom that I didn't witness last year under David Moyes.
And they got a plan. They seem to know where they fit into that plan as well. Sam Parkin, thank you very much for the time being. It is BBC Radio London live at St Mary's. The scene continues on BBC London 94.9 FM with Jess Izzat. That's around half an hour gone in that show. But here on BBC Radio London Sport on digital, Southampton 0, West Ham 0. And we will have the second half live for you very shortly, as well as the sports news. And that will come after the very latest travel.
In Essex, the M11 is looking slow southbound following an accident between Harlow and the M25. All lanes there have reopened, but traffic is still struggling. Moving into London now, in Islington, the A1 Upper Street is closed for roadworks. That's between Highbury Corner to Cannonbury Lane. And moving on to Hastings Road now, an accident has closed the road in both directions at Gables Mews. Traffic there's busy but moving. That's the latest. I'm Scott Davidson.
BBC Radio London Sport on digital.